Hello, I'm going to say a few words today about players and the holidays. And by that I mean players as far as any of the holiday seasons are concerned, and birthdays as well, because those can be used quite powerfully at these particular times, because they are times when our hearts are softened a little bit more and we become a little bit more sentimental and sometimes a little bit more vulnerable, which is the point that I want to make today as far as players and the holiday are concerned. And many people are single, and some are married, obviously, some are in partnerships, but whatever the relationship is, certain players have certain patterns around the holiday season. And if you want to know about more of the players' patterns, pop along there to my video called Players Patterns. And there are a few more tips there that might be useful for you. So, what happens around the holiday season that makes players, those who like to play situations and us and the relationship, what makes it different about the holiday season? As I just alluded to, the holiday seasons and any situation where someone is a little bit more vulnerable, and importantly to remember, where there is more attention to be had. And at holiday seasons and birthdays, expectations are that much higher, and therefore expectations can be manipulated and controlled so that more attention comes the player's way. So when we have a logical mindset and stand back and look at things objectively, it can be actually much more fun, because we can then often predict what is going to happen with that particular partner or that particular relationship at this particular time of the year, which may be a holiday season where you are, or it may be your birthday. Any situation at all, in fact, of celebration, which could be used to manipulate your emotions and the relationship so that the player comes out on top and gains more attention and more power and control and has more fun, because players get a lot of fun out of being able to manipulate someone's emotions, because what they say to themselves is, look at that, I did that, I caused that. And as far as some pathologicals are concerned, they actually enjoy causing, sometimes, not always, but sometimes causing relationships and people to suffer. And they get a lot of enjoyment out of that, because it's about the control, again, which to them is power. And so, it sounds strange, I know, but our holiday seasons can actually be used against us or used to manipulate the relationship so that the player, which can be a man or a woman, gets more attention than usual by manipulating situations. And one of the ways that this can happen is that often during celebratory seasons, when we have expectations that we're going to be closely romantically involved with our partner or the person we're in relationship with, we may often find that they actually disappear at these times, which can seem very painful and confusing. But again, it's about manipulation, and also, as far as sexual players are concerned, the holiday season is often a time when there's much more going on socially, and so they're often out there gathering as much attention as they can from various activities that are going on. So there are many more opportunities during holiday seasons to have more fun and to draw more people into the net, as it were, and to spread themselves even more widely so that they can increase their store of attention even more, because people tend to be a little bit more open during holiday seasons and sometimes a little bit more vulnerable to romance, which is fake, shall we say, in order to draw them in and garner more attention, more power and more control. And then the player knows that the main relationship is waiting in the background on hold for them to come home at any time. And of course, if someone has disappeared, we're even more pleased to see them when they do turn up. My next tip is that we may be placed on hold, as I just mentioned, during the holiday season in particular, and possibly on our birthday, because why? It's much more impactful at a time when our expectations are high to withhold the very thing that we are expecting during a holiday season or a birthday or a celebratory occasion. So we may find that we are placed on hold at the very time when we need to have that person there. So we will often find that they are unable to attend, or they just up and disappear in a cloud of smoke and go off somewhere to enjoy themselves with other people that they have left on hold during the year. And of course, who decides to be with us during holiday seasons is very telling about the relationship. So it sends quite a strong message at these particular times, which is even more fun for some players. Another thing that we may find, particularly in main relationships, in marriages and in partnerships in general, is that there is more attention to be had in the home, and many players in general like to have lots of attention coming their way in the home. So you might find at this time, when everything should be celebratory, having good fun, everyone being very loving and warm to one another, that the player may actually be cold and aloof and trying through outbursts of temper tantrums or discounting gifts that are given, or it might be huge amounts of criticism about what isn't right, what they haven't received, or just generally having a violent outburst, because, again, it is much more powerful when people are hoping to have a really loving and close time during these times when we want to celebrate with our loved ones. We don't want to have disharmony, and many players and narcissistic people tend to use certain situations to their advantage because they believe that only they deserve everything coming their way. Attention, love, fun, lots of things. And so they will use particular situations when people are particularly vulnerable because their expectations are high to garner more fun and playtime during these situations and particular times of the year. So, I hope that's helpful, and I hope it helps to know that we can make those times through assertive behaviour truly enjoyable, truly safe, and truly loving by deciding what we want to do to make things better. As always, stay safe and very happy. Bye-bye.